Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Sporting160EN podcast. I'm joined by the same guest as last podcast. It's going to be another good one. Let me start off with Steph. Steph, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty good. After yesterday's win, I'm doing even better. And then after winning today against Benfica 4-1, Joaquim Petins, even better. And then our ladies won 1-0, even better.
Yeah.
Our U17, our U19, our U15, everybody won today, so I'm doing great. I couldn't be better.
Yeah, man. And we're also joined by Chris. Chris, how you doing, bro?
Doing good, man. Another Taça of the Liga 1, semi and final and PKs. That's what we do here. We win shootouts, 6 straight total.
If it's not from penalties, we don't want it. Anyways, guys, before we get into it, let me just remind you guys again that we do have Sporting160 merch up on spreadshirt.com or .ca. And as you guys can tell from Steph's sporting a beautiful Sporting160 hat. And yeah, guys, go get your merch. Go get support the team. Not only us here at Sporting160EN, but Sporting160 over in Portugal. And for those that have bought the merch, because you guys have been flooding us in with tweets and all of that stuff, we just want to thank you guys for that. And I don't think you guys quite understand the happiness it brings to all of us here at Sporting160EN to see all of the love and support you guys give us. Anyways, Sporting, as mentioned, played Porto yesterday in the Taça da Liga final. It finished 1-1 over 90 minutes, going straight into penalty shootout, where Sporting won 1-3. I'll give you the starting 11. I'll go with Porto's first. They had Vanna in net, Eder Militão at right back, Felipe and Pep at center back, Alex Telles at left back, and then Jesus Corona and Brahimi on the wings with Hector Herrera and Oliver Torres in the middle, and Musa Marega and André Pereira up top. And then, of course, we had Renan Ribeiro in net, Marcos Jacuinha at left back, Coates and André Pinto at center back, and Ristovski at right back. Midfield of Goudelli, Bruno Fernandes, and Wendell, with Nani and Rafinha on the wings, and Bas Dost up top. Steph, I'll start it off with you. What did you think of the game?
Well, the game, when the first half, Sporting had the high pressure on, and I loved it. We didn't let Porto play at all. We pressured them pretty good, and we basically controlled the fate of the game at that point on the first half. We had a couple chances, one by Nani on the left wing. He had a good kick of the outside the box, but a little bit crooked, of course. And then towards the end, with Bruno Fernandes, he could have scored off a direct kick, but he didn't. But that was a very, very dangerous direct kick. And then I thought that Sporting actually did better than Porto in the first half. And then in the second half, we dropped back. So we went from a high pressure to a low pressure, low block defensively. I don't know why, but I'm suspecting because the players were tired. Heavy legs because we played on Wednesday against Sporting Braga after penalty kicks, exhausting, and only 2 days to basically recoup the players. So maybe that's why we dropped. But Porto played better in the second half. They could have scored, they didn't, which is a good thing. The only time they did, it was off a mistake of Renan. But shit happens. No one is perfect. I could have said that, a few minutes before we suffered that goal, he pulled a save off the corner, a header from Felipe. That was a great save. And then he belted us out in the penalty kicks anyway. But Porto, yes, did play better in the second half. But when we say they play better, it doesn't mean they create a lot of opportunity of goals. They create a couple, but nothing significant. Like they make it sound, as Portistas. I don't even know why they think they play much, 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 much better, because it wasn't the case at all. And then in the penalty kicks is a lottery. And Renan I don't know. I'll give the credit to René, of course, but it has a lot to do with Nelson, the coach, the goalies coach, because the René goes to the goal line full of confidence. He knows what he's doing, and he tricks the opponent's players when he psychs them out, and he does a really good job because he's not going to stop every penalty kick, but he's stopping. I mean, 75% of them, which is an awesome statistic, and we won, and I couldn't believe it. I had my wife next to me. She was actually neutral. She's Benfiquista, and she, for the first time in my life, she was rooting for Sporting because she doesn't like Porto at all. And then my mother-in-law, she doesn't really care, but everybody was watching the game because of me, especially the PKs, and I was very content. I'm not gonna say I was emotional, crying almost, but I wasn't quite there yet. I'm gonna save that for May if we become champions of Portugal, because that's been 17 years. But yesterday was definitely a very sweet moment, especially because it was at Braga, or Stadio Axel. And I just wish I could have seen Luis Vieira and Salvador at the same time to see their faces. That was super, super sweet. The Estado Municipal Braga is definitely um talismã for Sporting. I think we should move over there. We might be champions of Portugal if we move down there. But it was very, very sweet to be able to celebrate in Braga, in Casa do Benfica B. Fucking sweet as hell.
Yeah, for sure. And Chris, how about you? What are your opinions on the game?
Yeah, man. I share a lot of similar thoughts to Steph as far as how the game played out. Neither team superimposed himself on the game overall. Obviously, Sporting had better spells, possession. In the first half, Porto had better spells. In the second half, neither team really carved out too many clear-cut opportunities. So in that sense, the game was pretty balanced. Yeah, I mean, I will admit, as I was watching that second half, particularly the last 20 minutes, was getting a little, anxious, uncomfortable, because it seemed like, if someone was going to concede, it was us, because we were kind of packing it in, and they were playing, more freely. They weren't really creating that many chances. They had a couple. But I was definitely nervous, for sure. And once we conceded, I was very. I wasn't say I was certain that we would lose. I was just thinking that it would be tough for us to turn it around because we hadn't really created anything offensively the whole half, and now we have 10 minutes to score a goal basically. But we responded well. Funny enough, on the play that led to the PK. There was just a comedy of errors, in my opinion, from Porto. I mean, first off, it starts off with a shitty Jefferson cross. I don't know if it got deflected, but yeah, it's pretty bad. The Porto defender, he doesn't want to give up a corner, so he heads it back into a dangerous area, and Diaby gets there first, and Oliver Torres kicks him, and it's a PK. Half of me thought that they were going to go look at that and not call a PK, just because of the nature of the foul and it being the 91st minute and the VAR being subject to so much controversy already in the previous two games of this tournament, in the semis. So I was just going to be like, they're gonna save themselves. But I guess if you have two VARs, you can't miss that one. It was pretty obvious. Diaby got there first, and Oliver Torres cleans him out. So I mean, he had to call the PK, and then Baz Dost, who, by the way, took a horrible PK once again in the shootout. He got very lucky. I was like, so he took 3 PKs this week, and 2 of them were horrible, but he's took 2 of them. The best one was the most important one, in my opinion. And he put it high, and he tucked it away. I was nervous for sure. And then obviously it went to PKs again, and we did our thing. Kawatas probably took the worst PK of the lot. But Militown definitely didn't earn any awards either with his. Philippe missed as well. And Renan came up with the save. So overall, I was very happy. It was fun because normally after the game ends on this, because I was watching on a stream, I just kept it going and I watched, the trophy presentation and the festa on the field, and it was fun, and it was fun to watch that for like 45 minutes after the game, and it felt good to win a trophy, even if it's only the Taça da Liga or whatever. It's the type of tournament where if you lose it, you're like, fuck it, it's only the Taça da Liga, I don't care. But when you win it, it feels pretty good, and you're like, hey, we won a trophy. We won the same trophy last year, and that ended up being the only trophy that we won. But I mean, it's definitely good to win the first trophy of the year.
For sure, and just so I can piggyback off that, it's good because, especially for Sporting, because 6 months ago, not to say we didn't think we'd not win this title or anything, but all the madness that happened to the club during in April or May or whenever it was with the attack, and then everything after with all of the presidential elections and that middle space that we had just before that with Sousa Sintra and all of that. It was nice to see the players, with a smile on their face celebrating. It was nice to see the fans celebrating. I actually have they're not my cousins, they're my cousin's cousins, and they were there, and they sent me Instagram pictures and videos of them all celebrating, all drunk together and stuff like that. It was super nice to see all of that, and sort of have that happiness a bit come back to the club. And but yeah, just like you said, if we had not won this tournament, it's whatever, it's the Taça da Liga, who cares? But winning it gives us that extra confidence, and hopefully this time, unlike last year, this time it gives us that confidence and that that winning mentality and attitude to push on and do more throughout the year. And my quick thoughts on the game, because you guys really hit the nail on the head. I agree with you guys. I think it was really a game of two halves. As the cliche goes, I think Sporting definitely dominated the first half. Though of course Sporting had their opportunities or their moments in the first half, we'll say. But then in the second half, of course, it was all Porto. Really due to one, the substitution to Acuna. Reports are coming out that he was a bit injured. It wasn't just for the yellow card. So fair play to Kaiser. You have to do what you have to do. You have to put in Jefferson. And then of course the freakness of the only thing that'll happen. It'll only happen to Sporting, I should say, because of course André Pinto breaks his nose, tries to fight through it. Okay, he can't. He's breathing through his mouth. Fair play. Subs off for Petrovic. Moments later, the exact same thing, literally carbon copy. If I'm not mistaken, it was also Marega for both of them. I could be wrong.
I think it was André Pereira.
Yeah.
Okay, then. For both of them?
André Pereira broke two noses.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry. Yeah. Exactly. So,
fair
like,
play to the
odds... hey, you got to win how you got to win, right? Fair play to them. But, yeah, that's such a typical Sporting thing to happen, is two broken noses in moments. But again, fair play to Petrovic. This guy is the most typical Serbian you will ever see, and I fucking love it. Broken nose, just carries on saying, hey, camisola, caralho, camisola. Fucking, that attitude is an attitude I love. I know everybody can rip him a new one, and I've ripped him a new one in the past about his ability, about him not really being that well on the ball, though he's decent defensively, and how he's not a Sporting player. But with that attitude, to me, that's a Sporting player, wanting to win no matter what, having a fucking broken nose, but still pulling through it because he knows that there's nobody on the bench that can replace him perfectly. So Petrovic, I know you're watching this because we're very famous. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And yeah, like Steph said, it was a frango on their goal. It was a penalty, a clear penalty on ours. I also, like Chris, like you said, I also think that I thought at least that we weren't going to get that call because something similar happened last year with Porto and Aves, and that's really my only response to Porto fans that are the ones that are crying about this penalty. At least is you guys cried about the one against Aves. You guys felt like you deserved the penalty then. And now that the referees do give that a penalty, because it clearly is a penalty, now you're crying saying that it's not a penalty. To those fans that think that way, you guys have to decide what you want. Because, I mean, come on, there's clear contact, whether he goes for the ball or not. In my eyes, intent has very little to do. If there's contact, there's contact. Boom, it's a penalty. So
yeah, and that's the way it is. Actually, the rule is it doesn't matter if there's
exactly
intent or no intent. For those individuals that getting confused, so it was a clear kick to his leg. Nobody can deny that. You could see it on live TV from Portugal to US, Canada to China. So there's contact, like you said. It's a penalty. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Intentional or no for it.
Exactly. That intention argument I don't really like, because nobody intends to clip some guy's ankles or any of that. You know what I mean? They're trying to win the ball, but they happen to fucking slide in too late or something like that, you know, like for an example. So that's what I'm saying. Intent doesn't really matter in most circumstances. It doesn't matter. And then we went to penalty shootout or Dost, you know, well, fair play. Did the bet, like Chris said, the most important penalty he slotted away, which was perfect. We could have snatched the result if Rafinha's ball had went in, which was a great ball from Bruno Fernandes and great, like a great run from Rafinha, a great sort of combination between the two to be on the same wavelength. And then, you know, it went straight to penalties, and we were deserved winners. Renan with another save in the penalty shootout. I think he's gotten a lot of stick or a lot of hate from us fans, and I'm the first one to admit that I also give him hate. And truthfully, my opinion on Renan is that he's a good shot stopper, but overall as a keeper, he's still not a good keeper in my eyes. Good at distributing the ball, not good at coming out for crosses, not good at leaving his line, but a great shot stopper. And at the moment, that's really all we need, because the defense, the only thing that really happens is we let shots go, and then one-on-ones we're struggling with them. But yeah, that's my take on the game. Just a quick question for both of you. Chris, I'll start off with you. Who's your man of the match?
For me, I think I'm going to skirt out of this question by giving it to our entire midfield trio. I thought Gudeli was excellent. Bruno Fernandes, I mean, obviously it wasn't the best game I've ever seen him play, because he's had some incredible performances, but he was one of our best players. And Wendell was also excellent. This was definitely probably Gudeli's best game of those three, because the other two have had some great performances. But yeah, I thought that midfield trio was excellent.
Yeah, agreed.
Both offensively in the first half, and then defensively in the second half, when we were kind of had our backs up against the wall. Gudeli was actually playing defense today.
Yeah, agreed. And Steph, how about you? What's your man of the match?
For me, it's Renan, our goalie. He could have easily caved in after he did that mishap, and he didn't. He stayed strong, and then we scored off the penalty that Baza scored, and in PKs he was awesome, and he could have easily caved in, but he didn't. So Renan, most definitely.
Yeah, fair. And listen, my love for him now goes no bounds. I'm gonna give it to Petrovic just because of the fucking the broken nose playing on. Yeah, and this was also a big game for Kaiser, because obviously his first title for Sporting, but just before the Braga game, he also lost his father-in-law, which you know, for sure will affect anybody. So for him to still, you know, I don't think the reports at least were that he didn't even make a single training session with the team prior to this game. It was just his adjunct. So you know, it was nice for us to win for him. And yeah, guys, give me your opinions on you know, sort of I know it's outside of football, and we'll talk a bit more about the footy later on, but a bit about your take on Porto's attitude during the win. Steph, I'll throw it to you first. What did you think about, you know, obviously there was their goalkeeper coach throwing the medal to the fan, Eder Militão not going through the guard of honor to get their second place medal, them not staying around to at least see us lift the cup like traditionally it is. What are your thoughts, Steph?
Well, you can judge the whole team or the whole institution because of a few individuals.
For sure.
That's not the way I see football comport. But I understand like them leaving the pitch and not waiting for us to lift the trophy. I understand that totally. I mean, they just lost. I mean, why would you stay and see your opponent lifting the trophy? I'm not. I'm not the kind of sportismo and all that baloney. If it hurts, it hurts, and I gotta leave as soon as possible. I'm not gonna just stay and be fake about it. So I understand that. Now, when it comes to the assistant coach, was he the assistant coach or was
Goalkeeper coach?
Goalkeeper coach? To his defense, I don't know what they said to him. I know as professionals, you're supposed to be very cautious. But just imagine that somebody tries to grab your arm and calls you a son of a bitch, filha da puta. I don't know. I know at the end of the day, he's the professional. He's the one who has to behave. We'll never know what happened because there's no audio, no video about it. We only see him threatening somebody. But what was said for him to react that way? You know what I mean? I'm not Portista. I'm Sportingista. But it's let's look at the whole story. It's just like that event with the Indian and the kid in the United States. The first picture, they thought it was the kid just because he had a head that said "Let's make America great again."
Yeah,
yeah. So let's not jump to conclusions. To me, he shouldn't have done what he did because he's a professional, but at the same time, he's still a human being. And us fans, sometimes we see some nasty stuff to these players and coaching staff. And I don't think they should take it all the time. But besides that, I mean, Porto didn't want to stay. They wanted to leave. It's their prerogative. I agree with Luis Felipe. They just lost. Why would you want them to stay? And they felt like miserable. They felt like they should have won because they felt like they played better. But I don't condemn them from leaving the pitch and not waiting for the ceremony to take place. I wouldn't stay, to tell the truth. I wouldn't too. I would leave too. So there it is.
Fair enough. And Chris, do you have any thoughts on this as well, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's just run of the mill, poor sportsmanship. I don't really care because if this was the other way around, like Steph, I wouldn't care. Yeah, I mean, one of the quotes was, I think it was Conceição. He said they don't need our help to lift the trophy. Yeah, it's true. They don't need our help to lift the trophy. I mean, I don't really care about that. The worst one for me is the assistant coach trying to hit a Sporting fan with his medal. Because that's something that you can actually be punished for, and I expect him to receive a ban of some sort, suspension of some sort. Because I mean, you can't be doing that. You can go to the locker room. You can't try to hit people with your medal. That's it's a bit. That's assault. I mean, or attempted assault. Because I don't know if he actually got him because the cop kind of grabbed him before anything could really happen. But at the very least, it's attempted assault. So
the thing is the whole thing, I hate the whole setup. It's designed for something like that to happen. Because
walking through the fans.
Yeah, the crowd is right on top of the coaching staff and the players. I mean, imagine if there's a lunatic with a knife or whatever and doesn't really like somebody. I mean, I don't know. It's too close. I don't know.
Yeah, especially since because no matter what happens, because the platform was on the Sporting side. So I mean, if Porto won, they would have had to go up through the Sporting fans. So I mean, or if it was on the other side and Sporting won and they had to go up through the Porto fans. I mean, there's no way for that situation to end positively. I think that doesn't happen more because in the Taça de Portugal, it's the same thing at the Jamor. But that center area where the stage is, it's mostly like business people and media. It's not like crazy fans that you're walking through. You're walking through like staff and media and stuff. So that never really happens. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of unavoidable. And I mean, at the same time, how many Sporting fans were yelling that mean things at the Porto players? I mean, what do you think's gonna happen? Is he gonna go into the stands and fight 10,000 fans with his fucking medal? Like, just plug your ears, walk down, and go to the locker room, man. Take it on the chin. There's nothing positive to happen from you trying to take swings at people in the crowd. You know, and the same thing would have gone for players too.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, hey, we all know some fans take it too far. Some fans are idiots. Like, as a professional, you should already be aware of that, and especially not retaliate the way he did. If you want to wait and, like, I don't know, yell at him back or something, I still don't. I get what you're saying, Steph, I do, because the fan has to take accountability as well, for sure. But the coach he stopped walking. Like, he had passed, stopped, walked back, and then threw his medal. Come on, man, just keep it moving. Keep it moving. I don't get it. But yeah, and I'll agree with Steph and even partially with Chris. I don't care that they didn't stop to celebrate. I mean, it is poor sportsmanship. Have some class about you. But you know, I also sympathize with Porto in a way that I probably wouldn't want to be there either. I would have turned off the stream had Porto won. I wouldn't have watched their celebration. You know what I mean? And Sergio Conceição, he had a point at the press conference. He said something along the lines of eles não precisam, like, they don't need our help to lift up the cup. And, you know, a fair play. I get that. You know, it's just for a team that complained about and rightfully complained about winning the stadium at the Stade de Luz, turning on the sprinklers and all of that. You'd think they'd then show the example of how to win or how to lose with class and respect. You know what I mean? But I can care less that they're not there. My only thing was this goalkeeper coach or the institution, one or the other has to be fined for, because throwing metal, like you said, Chris, that's assault. That shouldn't run. You know what I mean? That shouldn't be tolerated.
Let me ask you something really fast.
For sure.
To both of you. Now let's flip it, okay? So, shit, I lost my thought.
The train of thought about maybe no. I'm trying to think of what you're thinking of, like the staying around and watching them, or
no, go ahead.
The medal? I don't know. I don't really that much else to say. What can we talk about?
Oh, okay. I got it.
Go for it.
So this whole thing was created by the media. You realize that?
Oh, for sure. Well, what do you mean?
Because I'm sure that you and Chris and myself, when we were watching Sporting, Porto going up, getting the medals, then Sporting was next, and then they left. We didn't even give a shit because we were focusing on Sporting. And then the media is the one who reminded everyone, oh, do you think it was appropriated for Porto to leave and not waiting for Sporting to lift the cup? It was the media that created something out of nothing, because most of us couldn't give two shits. Now we're giving our opinion because the media created that stigma. But before that, if you go back and you think about it, when Sporting was going up, getting the gold medal and getting the trophy, us fans, we didn't care.
I tweeted, way to keep it classy, Porto. I didn't care that they left personally, but I thought when I seen them leave, I seen the images. I thought, why the fuck are you guys leaving? Just fucking.
I remember them
stay
leaving.
there. You know what I mean? Yeah, like I seen the images.
I remember
sure.
them. I'm from Eu sou do Norte. I'm from the north of Portugal, so the zona da Aveiro, Ilha Café da Boa Vista. And you know, we don't take things lightly when we lose. You know, I don't care what people say. Quando a gente perde, não quero estar ali ver outro clube a receber medalhas e a levantar troféu. Puta que pariu. Nah, that's not me either. I wouldn't stay. Even if the coach said it, you gotta stay. Eu ficava contra a minha vontade. But I don't care. I don't care about sportsmanship. My sportsmanship is to tell you, I don't feel comfortable staying because we just lost. I just want to go and maybe cry about it and scream or release my stress in some other way.
I get that, Steph. I do, and like I said, I don't give a fuck that they didn't stay. I mean, it would have been the right thing to do if you want to, talk about a respectful way of losing. But like Zeh here on the chat, he mentioned, and in my opinion, he has a great point. Players watch trophy lifting for the World Cup, Champions League. You think for a League Cup, like it's the League Cup. Like they even call it the Taça de Mijo or whatever, right? Why the fuck aren't you staying? Like it even goes on to say, it's all about respect and the pain of losing the final to never go through it again. Like you'd think, especially Sergio Conceição as a player, he would understand these things and be like, no, guys, fucking watch this. So next year we're back here in the final, winning it. You know what I mean? That's my take on it, and Zed's take. To be fair, I'm reading his comments, so thank you, Zed.
I get it, yeah. But at the same time, I get Porto too.
No, for sure, I agree with you too. I get the them wanting to leave, but at the same time, it's like you could have had some bit more sportsmanship to you. But
to me, the message they sent was too painful for them, and I get that. I mean, it would have been great if they stayed, but. For what? To me, Portuguese makes no difference that they stayed or not stayed. To me, the victory was against Orelhas and Salvador, especially celebrating at the Braga Stadium for the second year in a row, knowing that president hates us, will do everything to diminish Sporting. It was a so saboroso, uma febre num pedaço de pão com queijo, com copo de vinho tinto.
My favorite thing was it seemed like people were all like, "Oh, move the stadium to Braga. We've won 2 trophies at Braga Stadium. Braga's only won 3 and shit like that." That was really good. I liked that.
You know what pisses me off about Braga? Because if you notice their name, it's Sporting Clube de Braga. And we are Sporting Clube de Portugal. Braga was one of our affiliates, and they switched to Benfica B for whatever fucking motive, bad taste on their part. But they'll never will gain my respect because their fans, they still dual fans. They fans of Braga and still of Benfica. Most of their fans. It's not like Guimarães. If you look at Guimarães, most of their fans are only Guimarães fans. That's why I have little or no respect for Braga at all whatsoever until they under the wing of Benfica and they depend on them for whatever fucking motive. And that was shown when levaram na peida 6-2. They'll never will earn my respect. Never. Because they a satellite of Benfica. That's it.
Fair enough. Anyways, guys, I don't know what do you guys have anything more to say about this game? The football itself. Like, how did you guys find how Sporting played? I know it was sort of mixed up, but especially in the first half. Chris, I'll throw it to you.
Yeah, I mean, it left me with some good impressions. I definitely thought we could have scored. We didn't, carve out so many clear-cut chances. But it definitely seemed like we were closer to scoring, and my confidence was definitely high going into that second half because I felt like we were closer to scoring than they were. It was not so dissimilar from our game a couple of weeks ago where we tied 0-0. Just the way that it was played. It was like a smart attacking, but overall pretty cautious from both sides. And then by the end, we were definitely just settling for the PK shootout, and we were forced to kind of come out and play the last 10 minutes. And it would have been awesome to not even have to go to PKs if Rafinha would have scored there, which, by the way, was a corner kick. They gave them a goal kick.
Yeah, which was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Which was ridiculous. It's a great point.
Yeah, the Portugal, he touched the ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the Benfica commentators admitted that.
Yeah, but not for nothing. I think this Benfica hate for Porto has gone up like an incredible level. Every Benfiquista that I see on Twitter seems like they love Sporting now and just hate Porto.
Nah, don't be
That's
fooled.
what it seems like.
After today's game, Joaquim Patins, they hit us back again.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Next
That's a good
weekend
point.
they'll change their minds too.
That's a great point, especially when we beat them twice.
Mhm.
Yeah, Steph, I'll throw the same question to you, and just you guys can chip in with any lingering thoughts or last minute thoughts about the game before we go on to other matters. So, well, how did you feel we played as a whole, Steph?
Well, this trophy is gaining ground, and it's becoming a very important trophy. We had the four best teams of the Portuguese league in the final four, and it's becoming a relevant competition. And one of the journalists actually popped the question to Proença, the president of the Liga, which I thought it was a very important question, which was, when is this competition will be given a spot to Liga Europa? And that's important, because the day that happens, that competition will even gain more relevance. And it's an official competition. We have two in a row. Porto has none. Then you have Benfica with 7, because for some fucking reason they won that trophy several times. Well, and several times it was given to them, like the second edition. They robbed us. But anyway, it's a good competition now. Sporting, if they play the same way they played the first 45 minutes against Football Club Porto, will be champion of Portugal. I have no doubts in my mind. But we have to be more consistent. We lack of consistency. We played an amazing 45 minutes against Football Club Porto. If we able to pull that stunt from now on, I have no doubt we'll have a great season in the Liga Nossa, in the Liga Europa, and the Taça Portugal. But we have to be more consistent. The only thing that's going to hurt us, we don't have a deep team. And it was shown on the second half against Football Club Porto. We don't have a good number 6. Gudeli, so people know, he's not a number 6. He's actually a number 8. He adapted to number 6. He's been adapting to number 6, and he's doing okay. But we can compare him to William Carvalho. William Carvalho was 5 times better. I won't say 10 times, but 5 times better. Maybe Doumbia is the solution, but who's going to be Doumbia's backup? You know what I mean? It's like we need a team that Kaiser. Let's not forget, this is not Kaiser's team. It is now, of course, because he's the coach and he's coaching them. But he didn't pick the whole team. He's kind of picking a few players now with the scouting department, and get this guy to make a difference for the remaining of the season and so on. We shipped away Mizik, Lumor. We got back Chico. We got back. Who else did we get back? Some phenomenal players, and now he has to put everything back together and do a better rotation. So we can last longer and better results and fresh legs and a fresh team to compete, because we still have the whole second half of Liga Nossa. We still have 2 games against Benfica, Taça Portugal, and we still have Liga Europa contra Villarreal. So
who were horrible, lost again this weekend.
Yeah, and then watch us play against them,
and they're gonna have the performance of their lives. So, yeah.
If we're not ready mentally and physically, and against Porto we were in the first half, and I want to see more of that. That's all.
Yeah, agreed. And I think that transitions perfectly well to your comment with the lack of depth with one of my questions. So next game is obviously against Setúbal. It's likely that Pinto and Petrovic won't play. I mean, they just suffered a broken nose, I think, at least 2 weeks. Mathieu as well, he's kind of injured. And then Gudeli is suspended. I think Chris may have tweeted this question. That's why I'm poking it from you. Perfect. So, Chris, I'll throw it out to you. Who should be Coates's center back partner for this game against Setúbal?
now that it just got mentioned by Steph, not directly, but the player. Obviously, whoever is put in this spot is going to be, uh, a Band-Aid. It's going to be someone who hasn't played that much, and it's likely going to be someone that isn't even a center back predominantly. What would you guys think about Doumbia at center back?
That's a good point. I've never
mean,
seen him play, to be fair, yet,
I've
but
never
that's a
seen
good
him play
show.
either, but he's a big body.
Yeah, that's a great show.
Defensive minded. Who else? We literally have no one else.
Yeah.
Goudelli probably would have been a stretch of a solution anyways, which is likely what would have happened. But I mean, Goudelli isn't even available. Yeah, I mean, you can go with an under 23 guy. I mean, it's funny enough. Like this would have been Jalot's chance. The guy who's crying or complaining he's not appreciated enough. So he can go sit on the bench for AC Milan if that's what he really wants to do.
If he even cracks the bench.
But yeah, I mean, he would have played, I think, which is just shows what bad advice a lot of these guys are getting, especially some of our players in our academy. I mean, Bruno Page maybe. Miguel Luis. I mean, there's not a whole lot of options. 3 at the back is also an option, I suppose. I mean, because last year, I would have thought, maybe Piccini could have stood in at center back just because of his size and aerial ability. But I mean, I don't really feel that comfortable with Ristovski or Gaspar playing center back. So, I mean, very interesting to see how that plays out. Because you don't want to force Mathieu back early and risk him getting injured further if he's not ready,
Yeah, agreed. And Steph, how about you? Who do you think should be Quata's partner in Stubal?
Well, it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, because like you said, we don't have Petrovic. We don't. I know we in deep shit, really. So we're gonna have to go to the under 23 team. I mean, they have a couple interesting individuals. And
they also have a game on Tuesday, I might add, which would be the day before we play. So we will have to decide which of these guys we want to play center back potentially, because if they all play normally on Tuesday, then we're fucked. Because then none of them are an option to play the next day.
No, that's a great point.
Yeah, they'll have to make the move before wherever they decide to pull away from the under 23 and way in advance. So yeah, I have no clue. I mean, knowing Sporting being cautious, they'll promote someone from the under 23 team, someone that plays the center back position full time. We don't have too many options. I mean, who else? I mean, Doumbia, he just got into Sporting. We're asking him not to play his position as number 6, not to play center back. I mean, they could test it, but we're playing Stubal, I believe it's Wednesday.
Yeah, that's correct.
So away at Stubal.
At Stubal. Historically, very tough for us. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, they don't have a Dingu now, but still very troublesome for us.
So to tell you the truth, it's gonna have to be a center back from the under 23 without any doubt. Which one? I don't know, because looking at the roster, Tiago Jalot, he's gone, and then Ukiki Koate also was loaned out, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And
then sold definitively.
We sold him, yeah.
We sold him, exactly.
Yeah.
And then who? João Silva, I think he's a center back. So and they doing pretty good actually, the under 23. So they won the last game they played. So yeah, that's it. It's going to be somebody from the under 23 team, and that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, my 2 cents. I think I was convinced maybe Queiroz from the under-23 team. He's been doing pretty well, especially under the this new coach that we got from Estorил's under-23. Chris, you mentioned Doumbia, and I don't know. I'm kind of thinking that way now. I'm thinking it might be a baptism of fire. I mean, debut playing outside your position, but you know, if he does a job there, then you know he might be our guy.
Because we still only have 3 center backs, anyways.
Right.
Petrovic isn't a center back.
But at the same time, again, Gudeli's out, so maybe Doumbia is going to come in for that CDM spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
So it's tough, man. I'm stressing about this. I don't even know how Kaiser feels. Hopefully, I mean, I'm with you. Hopefully, we don't rush Mathieu back, but hopefully he'll be ready by then, and then we won't have this headache. But yeah, if we're going to under 23s, I think it'll be the Queiroz kid. He's done well. He did well in Cologne when he was there. So why not give him a try? And you know, as we've seen earlier in the season, Kaiser does like playing his youth players. And Bruno Page. I also forgot about Bruno Page just now. Bruno Page is fucking amazing. I love the kid. I've seen him play right back. I've seen him play center mid, center defensive mid. He can probably play center back.
He's a number 6, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a number 6 for sure. But I've seen him play as a number 8. I've seen him play as a right back. How do you say it?
Jogador polivalente.
Yeah, exactly. He's one of those. So who knows? Maybe they can. Lauren Jenks in our comments are saying put Selen at center back. That'd be great. She also mentioned Demiral. ... Oh wait.
I know.
I mean, so many good options we could have had, like you know, Jallo, like Chris mentioned, Kiki,
Ivanildo.
Fair enough. Ivanildo needed the minutes and needed the first team minutes, but
I
as
know,
a fourth center back, we could have had him. I agree. But
so then you should have kept Marcelo. So
yeah.
why pull the trigger so fast? And you sold him to the MLS Chicago Fire, and now we don't have we have to rely on the under 23. And
I'm gonna get Marcelo's autograph when he comes to Philly.
Me too. When he comes to Toronto, I'm getting it too.
with that Sporting jersey on.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know if I wanted his signature on the jersey. Yeah, maybe a T-shirt.
Fair play. He's only had like 2 games for us, anyways.
When Montero came to, I was working at the Revolution 2 summers ago. Montero came with the Whitecaps. I was looking for him, but I couldn't find him. That's someone I would have had sign a jersey. Not about Marcelo. That's not. He's a sporting player, but he's not on Montero's level as far as like a club hero.
Unfortunately, the Vancouver Whitecaps didn't come to Toronto last season, so I couldn't see them. Those bastards. Anyways, moving on. We did have some transfer activity. I mean, we already gave in our 2 cents, sort of, but quickly again, just to sort of reemphasize, Steph, I'll throw you a player, then I'll throw Chris a player. Steph, I'll give you Jallo because Chris already sort of gave in his 2 cents about Jallo. So what do you think about this Jallo move to AC Milan?
Oh yeah, no doubt it's all about the money. Show me the money. They showed him the money, and he's leaving. He's a greedy player. That's it. He came up with a statement saying, I've been in this club for 6 years. I've learned a lot, and I'll keep it close to my heart. And I know people will hate me for what I'm doing, but you know, I'm doing this because I didn't feel that Sporting paid much attention to me, which is bullshit. Sporting always gave him a lot of attention. And of course, a little bit, he said a little bit of it is because of the money. How about telling us the truth and telling us it's all about the money? Show me the money. Remember that movie? Show me the money. So Thiago Jallo should watch that movie again. Show me the money. He's a greedy player. He's not going to go far in life. He's going to be like Zé Turbo or one of those great players like Bruma. He went to so far, like he's been to 20 teams. And Lori, now he's begging to come back to Sporting after he went to team A, B, C, D, and he's not that great of a center back. So it's going to be the same thing with this kid. We're paying attention to him now, but give it a couple years, no one will remember him.
Fair enough. And Chris, Kiki going to Troyes in France. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, I don't know how many opportunities there would have been for him at Sporting. That team is a second division team in France. I mean, it's not like he's forcing his like. Laurie originally forced his way out to get to Liverpool,
Yeah.
which, if you think about it now, the guy would have never made it at Liverpool.
Nah, he's barely making it out of Reading.
Who are in the drop zone of the championship. So
yeah,
I mean, he isn't exactly world class. But yeah, I mean, I'm not as sad about Kiki, because I mean, I don't think he forced his way out. I think it was more of he just wanted the opportunity to play fully professional more, not so much as the under 23, which is pretty much a B team at this point. So I mean, I can't fault him, and Sporting probably said, all right, they're giving us, I bet it was at probably in the range of like 300K, something like that, nothing crazy. But Sporting took the money, and I mean, I don't think he probably would have ever ended up playing for Sporting that much, unless something crazy happened. Like what's happening right now at center back.
Something crazy happened like right now. Yeah, no, for sure. I liked Kiki, but I'm with you. At best, he would have been like our third choice center back. So yeah. Anyways, that's. Oh no, sorry. And then last transfer rumor. I'll throw it off to Steph before I throw it off to Chris. Steph, are you with us? Actually, you're still with us, right?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Christian Borja from Toluca looks pretty much done. They set a press conference saying that he's coming to Europe, and I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure they mentioned Sporting. I could be wrong though, but I'm almost certain they did. I'll read off some stats really quickly. Damn it, the page is gone. Of his Apertura season at Toluca, because he did score a banger against Monterrey.
Possibly, I don't remember.
It should be. I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember now either. Doesn't show. But he finished the season off with 19 goals. Oh, this is also including the Clausura. So 19 games with 1 assist, 3 yellow cards only at left back, which to us is like amazing because Acuna gets a yellow card every game. Steph, what are your thoughts on this move? And then of course with Acuna going out.
Well, Acuna going out, it's bad news. Well, any team in Portugal needs to sell to stay alive, to survive. I mean, that's the name of the game. If you can get a good deal, you have to cash it out. It's a lot of money, and I hate to say it, I love Acuna. He gives it all the time, but $20 million or 18 plus 2. I think that's what Varandas wants, and I think Zenit wants 16 plus 4. So it's a game of numbers now, crunching numbers. But whatever it is, they want 20 million out of him. And I don't know much about the Colombian at all. Only stats. I mean, I went to Google him, and just like you said, that's how much I know about him.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie and say, oh, yeah, I've watched X amount of games. No, I don't watch the Mexican League whatsoever. To me, it's not attractive. So, well, I don't even know much of their teams. I know there's Cruz Azul, Pachuca. It's team like with funny names, but seriously, I don't watch the Mexican League. So it looks like he's going to be a good player, and I hope so. I mean, we have a scouting department, so we have to trust them. And Kaiser gave them the blessing. So let's see what this kid is. Let's see what Christian's got for Sporting fans.
Agreed. And Chris, I'll throw it off to you. Same question.
Yeah, I feel similarly. And by the way, Steph just mentioned Cruz Azul. Stephen Eustaquinho tore his ACL today.
Yeah.
So that's devastating. His second appearance. He's done for the year. So that sucks. Sucks for him. Sucks for them. Unfortunate. But yeah, going back to Borja. Yeah, I mean, he definitely seems like a great option. at left back. Acuna was sort of a utility type player anyways. I necessarily don't even think that left back is his best position. I think he's a better winger anyways. He just kind of has been forced to play left back more because we don't have anyone else, and we don't want to play Jefferson every single game because for obvious reasons. So it would be, I mean, there's no guarantees that he's going to pan out. It is a jump competitiveness wise to go from Liga MX to the Portuguese league, obviously. So he'll have to adapt. He'll have to move across the Atlantic and live in Portugal. So there are things that have to happen. But, I definitely hope he gets his feet under him quickly so that he can start playing. Because one thing that always has frustrated me about players that come to Sporting as opposed to other teams in Portugal is they come and then they acclimate for like 2 months before they ever make an appearance. Guys go to Benfica or Porto and they're in the next game. It's annoying almost that a lot of our transfers they don't even play. Like Geralds and Doumbia both haven't played yet, and Luis Felipe has played like 65 minutes total. So I mean, it's just kind of annoying sometimes. Fernando Andrade, the guy who scored against us for Porto. I mean, he came from Santa Clara and he's already came in two different games. So I mean, I just want him to get in there quickly and hopefully make a difference.
Yeah, agreed. And hey, the only thing I'll say about this is traditionally, which is a good thing, is if history tells us anything, at least Colombians tend to do well in not even in Sporting, but in Portugal in general. If you look at Porto, it looked like they found like a gold mine with all of their Colombians in the past, like Jackson and James and Falcao. And then with us, we had Teu, Montero, one more that I'm forgetting. So hopefully he goes after his predecessors in terms of Colombians at least.
Oh, Teo Gutierrez is Colombian as well.
Yeah, Teo. I think I said him. If not, then that's who I meant as well, Teo. Anyways, let's go on to the Twitter questions before we wrap this up. Let me pull them up here because they went away. 1 sec, guys.
So
I thought you were talking about Teo. I remember him.
No.
From like or mid 2000s. I don't know if he was Colombian.
I don't know. I'm not even remembering the player right now, to be honest with you. But hey, if was he good? Does it go on to my point?
I remember he scored a hat trick in one game.
Boom! So it goes on to my point. Fuck it. Where the fuck is? Oh, there it is.
So
sorry, Steph, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, the center backs we have now available. It's João Silva in the under 23. João Silva, João Queiroz, like you said, and João Goulart.
A lot of João. Shit.
Yeah, so that's all we have. And there's a João Ricilio. I don't even know if he's still there. But that's all we have, yeah. So, and the ones they played last game against Belenenses was João Queiroz and João Silva. So that's it. Yeah.
Oh, and one thing on Borja that I wanted to mention, just quickly. It doesn't really mean much, but it seemed like the Toluca fans on Twitter, at least, seemed upset about the move and were sad to see him go. I mean, they did a press conference with the kid, So, I mean, that's somewhat of a positive sign we can get. Like Steph said, I don't watch much of Liga MX anymore either. I don't know if you do, Chris, at all, or
not really.
Yeah, so the limited knowledge we have is just from stats and maybe other fans' opinions, and at least for the most part, it seems like Toluca fans are upset about that, which is only good for us. So hopefully it pans out. Anyways, first question comes from Christovan, sorry, on Twitter, which is CRIST0VA0. He asks, which trophy should Sporting focus on now? I'll actually ask both of you. So, Steph, I'll ask you, what's your opinion?
All of them.
Power move. I like that one. How about you, Chris?
I mean, obviously you have to keep playing the league games, but I think that you can obviously pursue going far in the other two competitions without just making a sacrifice in the league. You know, Europa League is on Thursdays. So I mean, if you play a game on Sunday, I mean, it's not like you get benefit that much by resting players on Saturday 5 days before. You know, if anything, it's the games that come afterwards in the next weekend that are more affected. But yeah, I mean, two games against Benfica, one in next week and one in April. I mean, I don't think you have to sacrifice too much to be competitive in those games. And you know, who knows how far we'll go in the Europa League. But you know, I mean, we just have to keep competing in the league, and you know, hopefully we're not dependent on ourselves anymore. So we just have to keep playing for results, and you know, see how the others do, and you know, reevaluate kind of every couple of weeks. You know what our chances are. Obviously, if we're 12 points back in the league and we have a Europa League semifinal, then you know, you rest people. Who gives a shit anymore? Yeah. But I mean, at the same point, even if we're not champions, pushing for second place is still important as well to get into the Champions League. So it's all situational, and what the table looks like now might not be what it looks like in 2 months. So as of right now, you got to keep pushing on all fronts.
Agreed. I 100% agree with you there. Next question comes in from Sporting CPU Youth at Sporting CPY on Twitter. It's a 3-part question, so I'll ask Steph this first one. Actually, did you look the game yesterday at home? Oh, did you watch the game at home? I'll ask both of you guys that. Where'd you guys watch the game yesterday?
Home.
At home.
Home. Same. We're really shit. You know that the chant that says "Só eu sei porque não fico em casa," but us immigrants, we stay at home to watch the game.
Not much of a choice.
Yeah, I know for sure. But he also asks, do you think we need to buy more players in the winter transfer market? And if yes, which players should we buy? Or I'll say, which positions should we buy? So Steph, I'll start off with you. What do you think?
Well, we need a brand new team. No, that's good for the summertime for that. But we definitely need a number 6. Maybe Doumbia is the answer. And now, as we can see, we need a center back. It seems like if we get Borja, which he should be signing, assuming that because this was the week and he didn't sign the contract yet, maybe by tomorrow he'll sign the contract, and then maybe Kevin will sign it too. But then we have Thierry in the under 23. I like him. So I would say now immediately I would go for a striker, another striker. Yes, you heard me correctly. Mm-hmm. A center back, and a number 6, assuming that we don't sell anybody else. Because if we sell Vitovsky, now we're talking about right back. Yeah. If we sell Bas Dost, let's say, who the fuck knows? Then we need another striker. We just got Luis Felipe. So there it is. Me personally, I think we really need a center back, a number 6, and a striker. Yeah.
And Chris, what about you?
Yeah, I would take another CDM for sure. Yeah, another center back for sure, because as you can see, we have absolutely no depth at the position. A goalkeeper, like a project goalkeeper, to kind of develop right now. I mean, I guess I'd take another striker, but we do have 3 as opposed to 2 now. So that's good because we normally have 2, or more like 1.5 usually. So it feels good to have 3 right now. But I mean, yeah, we're pretty set otherwise.
Yeah, I'd agree with you guys. I think depending on how this Doumbia kid does, but I'd agree we need another 6. If the Borja rumor is true, then it seems all but true. So I think left back for this season at least is done. Maybe next season we could look into bringing another one for backup. because Jefferson, as good as he may have done yesterday, Corona put him on skates. But anyways, maybe another left back next season. For now, he'll do a job. I agree with Steph. Another striker. I think Portuguese teams, as we've seen from the trends of the last few champions, need at least 3 solid strikers, if not more. And yeah, another center back. I'm not a big fan of Ilori coming back, not because of any past things he might have done, but simply because, like we mentioned, I just don't think he's good enough. But with this crisis, I'll take him on a one-day contract, to be honest.
Not even.
Not even fair.
No.
Fair enough.
He forced his way out. He's the one who said, like Diaghileau, I don't forget players like that. You know, I don't.
Yeah, no. Especially.
There's certain players that I never want to see in my club. Like William Carvalho, I don't want to see him. Diaghileau, I don't want to see him. Lodi, I don't want to see him. Justin Martins, fuck no. Podence, he can go fuck himself.
Yeah.
You know, all these players that shitted on Sporting can go. All of them go fuck themselves.
It's funny because they leave and it's like pretty objective that their careers get worse and they do not learn.
None of them.
Those ahead of them. Like, Gelson will never play for Portugal again. He's shit.
I won't say again, but he'll never be an important player.
No.
Never. Never.
He went from a club that was fighting for titles. He went to another club that it's a good club, but you know, they in Spain they fighting for third position all the time. Once in a while they win the title. And now he went to Monaco fighting to stay alive in the French league.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bay Fate.
And listen, and maybe in a few years, if he continues the George Mins carousel, maybe we'll see him at Viwa.
Or Wolves if we're lucky.
You know what? Yeah. I have a feeling in the summer he's going to Wolves, and then he's not going to make it in England, and then that's it. Bye.
Then it's Viwa.
Oh, you know where is he going? He's going then with George Jesus to Ali Allah.
Apparently, he got sacked. I don't know if that's true or not, but I was reading yesterday he got fired. Really. Oh, it's fake? Okay, then.
Yeah. No.
Fair enough then.
I don't know if you saw Danny, but Giovinco's linked to Al Hilal.
I know, I saw. They're not taking my boy. I'll find him and hold on to him. He's not leaving.
You know who plays with him? Carrillo.
Yeah, I know. Carrillo, whatever his first name, Gomes, the French striker he used to play for Swansea.
Yep.
And Carlos Eduardo, who used to be from Porto.
And Gelson Martins in a couple of months.
Last question comes in from our boy Kevin over at the UK. Shout out to you, Kevin. Follow him at Kev1Narouge6 on Twitter. He asks, how did you all celebrate after yesterday's win? And who are your favorite players at Sporting at the moment? Steph, I'll throw it off to you. How did you celebrate and favorite player?
I mean, I was the only lunatic screaming and running around my living room table while my Benfiquista wife and mother-in-law were looking at me, and my dog, I have a little beagle, Maya. She was running with me and barking, and I was super, super excited. That's how I celebrated. I didn't get drunk, not this time, but that's how I celebrated. My favorite play of yesterday's game, or like.
No, of this season at the current moment.
At the current moment, that's a good question. No one has really caught my attention so far. No one has been consistent at all. I mean, seriously speaking, Kouach has been on and off, making some grotesque mistakes at times.
Yeah.
Macho as well. Giovanni was like, he did great. Now I don't know what happened. He fell off the wagon. Bas Dost, he was blazing, and now bang, he's gone. He's been gone for a little while. So I would say maybe Ritovski is the one who's been more consistent so far since he's come back from his injury. The one that's been surprising me lately has been Jefferson. He looks like his form is going up a couple notches. But I don't really have a favorite player as of yet. Too soon to tell. Bruno Fernandes is on and off. I think Kaiser should really look into resting him now that we have Sheik. Take the risk. Be afraid. Give Chico a chance. Let Bruno Fernandes, rest a little bit. Save him for the first half on Stubble and put Chic. See what happens. And then if it doesn't go to your liking, sub him. I would take a risk. Yeah, that's it.
I agree with you there. And Chris, same question to you. How did you celebrate, and your favorite player at the moment?
Well, I just kept watching the post game afterwards. It's always fun to watch that stuff.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, especially when we win.
They're like the certain players are going on Instagram Live in the locker room, so it's kind of fun. It's like it shows you a different side of the players because it's more of like their personalities, and kind of like the way they're reacting. Wendell spraying everyone with pouring beer over people while they're getting interviewed. Ristovsky, as we know, is obviously a clown. He's definitely hilarious. Yeah, I mean, it's just fun stuff. It's always fun to win, no matter what the trophy is. So I just enjoyed watching that in my house. My dad's a Benfiquista. He was watching it too. He was in and out of dozing off during the game because I guess for someone that didn't have any horse in the race, it wasn't the most exciting game, I guess. But yeah, I mean, he was in and out. And then I just kind of watched, and then after the TV feed ended, I just was just watching on Instagram the various players, following along with like the latest developments of the medal thrower and all that bullshit. So just fun. A fun night. More like afternoon into evening more than night, but same thing. Yeah, and my favorite player at Sporting right now might be Wendell. I mean, the kid's overcome a lot of adversity.
Yeah.
It's amazing that the two coaches that came before him couldn't even give him a chance because, I mean, obviously he can play. I don't know what the hell the problem was. He cost a lot of money too. He wasn't cheap, and he just two different coaches he just kept him sitting there. Didn't even dress for most of the games. Wasn't even in the squad. And now he's a definitive starter. So it's pretty amazing. And he got hurt too this year after he had just kind of got his feet under him and he recovered and now he's back to a high level again. So yeah, great player. And I admire everything he's overcome as well.
Yeah, that was exactly the player I was going to pick as well. Nani might be my all-time favorite player.
He's a good captain. He's a great captain.
Yeah, for sure. But Wendell, I've loved. The thing is, I've loved his attitude, just like you said. Two managers have counted him out, not counted him out, but not given him the chance he deserves. But then he stays patient. He's not really loud. He didn't go to the media. He's not like some of our academy players whose fathers start talking on their behalf. So, right attitude, right frame of mind, always thinking the time will come. He gets one little bit of a sniff, he gets injured, and then he, like you said, gets the starting position, gets injured. So for him to be having the moments he's having now, I couldn't be more happier with him. And at the present moment, I think he's definitely my favorite player. I think he finished last night with 100 pass accuracy, 100% or something like that, or near around that. And how I celebrated last night's win, I hope this picture does it justice. I hope you guys see it well. Let me try to take the glare out. That's how I celebrated.
Pauling, dumping beer.
Pauling, the legend. No, I'm kidding. I went to work. But yeah. Anyways, guys, that is our show. It is time to bid adieu. I think the best way to end it is from the famous words of a particular coach. I'm trying to find the clip. I just had it here. Famous coach in our league, Abel Ferreira. Vamos embora. Vamos embora. Guys, thank you. Sorry, go ahead. Oh, modalidades. Caralho, I almost forgot modalidades. Steph, can you do that or?
Yes, of course. I already got
Sorry about that, Steph.
Yeah,
my
that's
bad.
Cool, man. No, don't worry
Não
about
vamos embora.
Não vamos embora. No. Ainda não. I would love to see his goddamn face after we won the trophy lá no Braga. Yeah. But thank you to them for giving us an awesome stadium and all the goodies and shit. Okay, in Patins today, we pulled off a great win against Sporting Lisboa Benfica no Pavilhão da Luz. What a great game! I don't know if you guys watched it. I did.
I couldn't.
I followed along. I didn't. Was it on TVE?
TV 24.
Okay.
Yeah. So
does that one have a free stream service?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. Vocês não querem ouvir, meu. Não posso fazer mais nada. if I was your father, first of all, I would be Sportingista. Second, I would buy it for you. Then I would buy it for you. So, yeah, great win, especially when we played most of the second half against not only Benfica, but against the goddamn referees. 10 minutes we played with 3 men. 10 minutes. Which is a lot. So those referees would definitely do Sporting Lisboa Benfica, but we won 4-1. U19, we won 1-0 against Studio Praia. U17, we won 3-2 after losing 2-1 against Sequevenense. So you guys know Sequevenense, they have a good academy. They always give Sporting Benfica a good run. They're from the same conference. U15, we tied against Sporting Lisboa Benfica at Benfica, which is a really good result because we crushed them in the first game. It was like 4-0 at our academy. Tennis table, we won in the in the Champions League of Tennis League. We won 3-1 against a Spanish team, Priago, for the quarterfinal away. So we're in good shape. Futsal, we got our revenge. We won against Elétrico after losing against them in PKs for the League Cup. We won now for the Portuguese Cup. So we got our revenge back. And last but not least, and actually really close to my heart, our ladies won at Studio Praia 1-0 today. A goal from Solange. So congrats to our ladies. We're still in the hunt for the title. 5 points away from Sporting Braga, which is still doable. So let's be optimistic. And that's all I have. It's better than 8, but in the ladies' league, in the first division, the only teams that have the potential to win the title, it's Braga and Sporting. And next year will be Benfica.
Benfica will be in there next year too.
Yeah, they have a good team. They're in first place in the second division. I don't want to brag about them, but they have a good team. But last time when they played Sporting B, let's remind everybody, they played against teenagers. They were 15, 16, 17. That's why they won 10-0. Nothing to brag about, really.
Yeah, and they bought professionals, right? They bought girls that have been playing. So
yeah,
I mean, it was bound to happen. They bought a team that will easily go up to the first division this season. So
easy.
It's nothing. It's nothing to because this same team is going to compete for the title next season. You know what I mean? So we take that with a grain of salt.
They have a lot of players, international players from Brazil.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a lot of Brazilian good quality players, and but it'll benefit the first league
for sure.
next year for the ladies, most definitely.
And hopefully Porto follows suit too, so our league can be one of the better leagues in terms of women's football.
I don't think so, because Porto has been falling back the wagon like futsal.
Yeah, they don't have a futsal team. No, I agree with you. I'm just saying, hopefully, they start, futsal and then women's soccer especially. I think would be huge for Portugal. But
I think they're in trouble financially, and they're just happy to keep whatever modalities they have now. So,
They
but
do basketball.
Yeah, they do, which is pretty popular.
I'm excited for our
Portugal.
basketball team to be back.
Me too. Me too.
I like basketball.
Same.
I don't know how we're gonna get paid for it, but yeah, I'm excited too.
Hey, if they can find out a way, I'm paying cottage. So if they can find out a way, I'm fine with it. If my 6-year-olds helps.
Same.
Hey, don't forget. So, what's your score against Tuval?
I'm gonna go with a classic Kaiser 4-1 win. We're gonna be motivated.
Who's gonna score?
Epa. I'll give Bas Dost the goal. I'll give Bruno Fernandes a brace, and I'll give Nani a goal.
Chris,
You heard it here first.
I think 2-1. No clean sheets. It's going to be hard fought until the very end, and we're going to be nervous through the whole thing. But we'll get the result 2-1.
who's gonna score?
Luis Felipe's going to come off the bench and score the winner.
Nice.
And Bruno Fernandes is going to score the first one.
I'll sign up right now for that win.
Yeah, me too. I'll say 3-1, and I'll say Bas Dost, Luis Felipe, and Bruno Fernandes. And that's it. Back to you.
All right. Fair play. Guys, that was podcast number 32, the Taça da Liga edition. And I think there's only one proper way of ending off the podcast, and it's with this audio clip. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for interacting with us on Twitter. Thank you for those that have bought the merch. Thank you for those that will buy the merch. Thank you to everybody for supporting the crew and for everything like that. And of course, Viva Sporting Clube Portugal.
Viva Sporting Clube Portugal.